guys, and welcome back to another top 5 video. Today, we're going to be going over my top 5 favorite fire-type Pokemon. So let's get started. First up is number 5, and that's Reshiram, the vast white Pokemon, or white yang Pokemon in Japanese. Clearly, Reshiram is based off of a dragon/wyvern, but in addition to that, it's also based off of a jet engine. It's basically got fire coming out of its butt, but that's really cool. While it helps those seeking truth, it's also been said to be able to scorch the world and change weather with its fire and heat. That's actually really scary if you ask me. Its two signature moves are Fusion Flare and Blue Flare, just like Zekrom has Fusion Bolt and Bolt Strike. Honestly, I really like its attacks. They're both visually awesome looking. Just like Zekrom, it can fuse with Kyurem, only this time it becomes White Kyurem. Honestly, I'd have to say I like Black Kyurem more than White Kyurem, but either way, they're both really cool looking. Overall, I just really like its design. It's a really pretty concept compared to Zekrom, who has a really more aggressive looking, cool, tough look. And it especially looks cool when it goes into its overdrive mode, which looks awesome, and it starts getting all glowy like it's about to just shoot some flames out. It's all these reasons that it's my number 5 on this list. Next up on our list is number 4, and that's Hoho, the rainbow Pokemon. Hoho is based off of a phoenix, and it was the first ever Gen 2 Pokemon shown off ever. In fact, it was featured in the very first episode of the Pokemon anime, which is really weird. This is likely due to a large number of Pokemon that were designed during the original game's development, but didn't make the cut until Gen 2 came along. When Hoho first appeared in the anime, it was almost all gold. One of Ho-Oh's big pieces of lore is that it resurrected 3 Pokemon that died in the Tin Tower and made them the legendary beasts. This is actually a play off of how phoenixes rise from their ashes and become reborn after they die. And that's actually really cool that Ho-Oh can kind of spread its love around in that way. One thing I find funny about Ho-Oh is that while it's known as the rainbow Pokemon and you summon it using the rainbow wing, it actually only has about 5 colors in its palette. I guess if you catch it in the right light, its feathers shimmer like a rainbow. Speaking of its feathers, apparently if you find one, it'll bring you eternal happiness, which is great! Who doesn't want eternal happiness? I just really like Ho-Oh's design, and its normal colors are great, but I also love its shiny colors. Ho-Oh is actually one of the few Pokemon that I've shiny hunted without the shiny charm, but considering I was hunting in Heart Gold, I actually got really lucky finding it. Firebirds are a really awesome concept, and Ho-Oh is one of the best designs I've ever seen. Even better than Moltres, if I have to say so myself. And that's why it's on this list in my number 4 spot. Next up is number 3, and it's actually the entire Torchic line. So that's Torchic, Combusken, and Blaziken. They're known as the Chick, Young Fowl, and Blaze Pokemon, respectively. On top of that, they're the Gen 3 Fire Starter Pokemon. Generally, they're based off of chickens, but more specifically, once you get to Blaziken, it's based off of the Shamu chicken, or really a cockfighting chicken. And beyond the ethical ramifications of actual cockfighting, I really like this line a lot. However, they did start the dreaded firefighting type starter trend, but I can forgive them for that. In the anime, this line was owned by both May and Harrison. And on top of that, Blaziken is the only fully evolved starter Pokemon to appear in the anime before its debut generation. For more specific facts on them, Torchic can launch fireballs at 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit, Combusken can kick 10 times per second, and Blaziken can clear a 30-story tall building in one leap. Additionally, Blaziken is known for its fiery punches, which is weird because it seems to be known for its legs more than its actual fists. In Gen 6, Blaziken got a Mega Evolution, and that's what really sparked my interest back up. I ended up playing through X after my original run through Y, and I used Blaziken. Having it on my team was a lot of fun. Also, the one that I used in that playthrough was the one that you got as an event with the special speed boost ability. Which, if you ask me, and maybe a lot of other people, it's kind of a broken ability on a Blaziken. And finally, Blaziken was shown alongside Lucario in beta footage for Pokken Tournament all the way back in 2013, way before we even knew the game existed. And it's for all these reasons that the entire Torchic line deserves the entire number 3 spot on this list. Now we move on to my number 2 spot, and that's Litton. Litton is known as the Fire Cat Pokemon and is the Gen 7 Fire Starter Pokemon. Right from the get-go, I thought Litton looked so cool. I love its color palette, and I love that it just kind of doesn't seem to care about anything. It's basically just a regular cat with fire powers. That's really cool on its own, honestly, in my opinion. And I'm not even a cat guy. Compared to its evolutions, Torracat and Incineroar, honestly, I like Litton way more than I like those two. When it comes to both of them, I like them in certain mediums, but not in others. But I like Litton all the way through, whether it be the games, anime, cards, or whatever. After licking itself, the fur balls it coughs up can be lit on fire to use as fireballs. On top of that, its coat grows in twice a year, and when it's ready, it lights itself on fire to burn off the excess hair. Imagine the cat from the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, only it meant to set itself on fire. In the anime, Ash actually caught a Litton, and it's honestly one of the saddest stories that he's ever had for a Pokemon. Spoiler alert, but it was raised by an old Stoutland that ended up dying. There were a couple episodes that they covered this, and it was really sad, especially since Litton was basically orphaned. It actually reminded me of The Lion King when Mufasa dies. Anyways, like I said, I'm not much of a cat person, but if Littons were real, I would definitely have one. They're just so cool, and I like the idea of having a fire cat. That's why it's my number 2 spot on this list. And finally, we make it to my number 1 spot. And honestly, these Pokemon are my favorite Pokemon, period. And they are Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion. Cyndaquil is known as the Fire Mouse Pokemon, and Quilava and Typhlosion are known as the Volcano Pokemon. Quilava and Typhlosion actually share their Volcano Pokemon category along with Entei. They're also the Gen 2 Fire Starter Pokemon, and they were really kind of my first starter Pokemon, period. Well, not counting Pikachu, but I didn't really play Pokemon Yellow very much when I was a kid. In any event, they're based on a porcupine, echidna, weasel, and honey badger? They're based on a lot of things. And like I said, they've been my favorite Pokemon for like the longest time in the world. Even before I really knew that they were. In the anime, Ash actually owns a Quilava. And a fun fact about that is it took the longest out of all Pokemon in the anime, period, to evolve. At least up till now. The line has actually a really nice shiny. Its back turns all brown, and it's just really cool looking. That being said, I kind of do miss its old shiny from the original games where it turned pinkish purple. But brown is nice too. Like I said, by all respects, Cyndaquil is actually my real starter Pokemon. Silver was my first real game, and I really liked using Cyndaquil. I even ended up reusing Cyndaquil in Heart Gold since my original Typhlosion was lost to time due to their not being able to be transferred from Gen 2 to Gen 3. For a little while, Cyndaquil and its line was actually a sleeping agent favorite of mine. For the longest time, I had either Sneasel or Sceptile as my favorites, or even Piplup. But while I like those Pokemon, the Cyndaquil line has really been the one that stood the test of time. I never once thought it wasn't cool. While I'm not 100% it will be, I really kind of hope the line is in Sword and Shield. I won't be too broken up if they aren't, because I'll still have them in my other games, but it would be really cool to see them in full HD. On top of that, it would be awesome if Typhlosion got a Gigantamax form. It never got a Mega, so this would be the next best thing. And it's for all these reasons that the Cyndaquil line is my number 1 Fire-type Pokemon, as well as my favorite type Pokemon over every other one in the dex. Well, there you have it, my top 5 Fire-type Pokemon. What did you think? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section along with your favorite Fire-type Pokemon. On top of that, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so that you'll get all the notifications when I upload. Well, that's it from me. I'll see you guys in another video.